there, as well as southern Arizona, much California, and just a little bit of mild to brisk temperatures along the rest of the west coast, and just a tiny bit in the Great Plains, though. While a lot of cold air starts moving into the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes region, and a lot of cold air moving into the Northern Rockies, Great Basin, Cascades. There's a lot of rain on the eastern side of the Great Lakes. I know. That's actually the cold front and stationary front that you're seeing, Wild. And yet it's moving to the east. I mean, I'm pretty sure you had experienced that during the weekend, right? Yeah, because, I mean, you did say you had mostly cloudy conditions earlier today, and then it became clear. Yeah, same thing I had a few days ago. Yep, I got you. Now let's take a look for tomorrow night. So while your temperature reading could be as much as the upper single digits to low teens in degrees Celsius. For those in the U.S., you have a lot of above average temperatures in places like the southern plains to western southern Great Lakes region, and as well as the East Coast, some mild temperatures in parts of New England, and a lot of warmth throughout the desert Southwest and California. Though there's still a lot of chilly, freezing air in the Rockies and parts of the Great Basin, and just a tiny bit in North Dakota and Minnesota. And there is still warmth in the coastal parts of the Pacific Northwest, though. Ugh, I don't know why I did that. Oh boy. Yeah, this is my fault. Sorry about that. Alright. Yeah, I don't know why that happened. I mean, at one point I did accidentally move the size of the application. Anyway, for you, Wild, let's see what we got for Tuesday morning. For you, Tuesday morning, you'll have temperatures that'll be in the mid to upper single digits in degrees Celsius. For those in the U.S., you do have very warm temperatures from southern Texas all the way to Kentucky to Florida. Chilly air starts settling in throughout the eastern part of the U.S., except for Maine, where it's going to be mild. Very cold temperatures throughout the mountainous parts of the west, but very mild temperatures throughout Arizona and California. And a lot of cold air is moving into the Great Plains and the Great Lakes region. Wild for you on Tuesday night. Let's take a look. Your high will be in the upper single digits in degrees Celsius. In the U.S., though, plenty of above average temperatures throughout the East Coast, Southern Plains, and the Ohio Valley, and parts of California, much of the desert Southwest, the West Coast, and just plenty of chilly weather that's still remaining in the Rockies, the Sierra Nevadas, and the Cascades too. But there's cold and below average temperatures in the Northern Plains and the upper Mississippi Valley, Great Lakes region. See you for Wednesday morning. For you, Wild, your temperature reading could be as much as the mid teens in degrees Celsius. A lot of cold temperatures will affect places like the Cascades, Sierra Nevadas, all the way through the Northern Rockies, Great Basin, and then into the Great Plains, the Great Lakes region as well. And, well, plenty of mild temperatures still lingering throughout the Gulf Coast to the immediate coastal parts of the East Coast and southern Arizona, a few places in California, though, and the rest of the coastal West Coast part. Let's see, 41.6 millimeters of rain fell between October 16th and 17th. Not sure what that would be in the imperial system, though. By my estimate, Wild, about 41.6 degrees, 41.6 millimeters. let's see, that would be 4.16 centimeters. So by that, it would be under 2 inches of rain. Under 2 inches of rain, meaning like less than that. I mean, all I know is that about 2.54 centimeters equates to a full inch. If I'm not mistaken, Wild. So that means that you probably just have experienced just about as much as about between an inch and a half to about an inch and 3/4, if I'm not mistaken. And finally, hold on a minute. Never mind. For Wednesday night, though, Wild, your high will be in the mid to upper single digits. Looks like your temperature reading's really cold, Wild. Boy, that's gonna be fun, right? I doubt that. But there's gonna be a lot of above average temperatures throughout the south, and a little bit of mild temperatures in the immediate coastal parts of the East Coast. Some parts of the Great Plains, plenty of places throughout the desert Southwest will get hot. Mild temperatures will occur throughout places like the West Coast, the Bitterroot Mountains of Idaho, Great Basin, only in the valleys though, and a lot of below average temperatures in the Great Lakes region and the inland areas of the Northeast. Now let's take a look at the humidity levels. So let's see for dew point. Okay, yeah, I'm not very good with the imperial system. I'm still practicing with it. Yeah, Wild, just so you know, I mean, I've been taking a lot of science and math classes, and of course, the equivalent of 1 whole inch is 2.54 centimeters. I mean, I've been getting accustomed to that Wild. And as well as the fact that 1,609 meters equates to 1 mile. I mean, I don't expect you to memorize all this. I mean, even I don't expect myself to memorize literally everything, but that I would have to rely more on the conversion table, because I can't really memorize literally everything. Alright, so for you, Wild, for tomorrow morning, your humidity level will be in the mid single digits, which means that it's going to be somewhat moist, but somewhat bit dry though. But humidity throughout the country in the U.S., plenty of humidity throughout the Gulf Coast and the Northeast too, and much of California and the Pacific Northwest, and just a tiny bit in the Great Plains. While your humidity, your dew point value is in the upper single digits in degrees Celsius, though, which means it'll get somewhat humid, a little more easier. But for the U.S., there's a lot of humidity throughout places like the Gulf Coast, lower Mississippi Valley, and parts of the Northeast. Some humidity will be in Central California and the coastal part of the Pacific Northwest. Tuesday morning, while your area could experience just about as much as the mid single digits in degrees Celsius, which means that's somewhat mild, not like humid, but not like too humid. There's a lot of humidity throughout the Gulf Coast, a little bit throughout the eastern side of the Great Lakes region, and still left over in parts of New England and Central California and the coastal parts of the Pacific Northwest. For Tuesday night, though, while your area will experience humidity values, dew point values, as much as the mid single digits in degrees Celsius. So it'll get somewhat humid either way. Plenty of humidity throughout the Gulf Coast as well, and just a tiny bit of humidity throughout the Appalachian Mountains, a few places in the Great Lakes, and parts of New England, Central California, and as well as the coastal part of the Pacific Northwest. Wednesday morning, there's a lot of humidity to deal with in the coastal part of the U.S., parts of the southeast, and the coastal parts of New England, and that's the bit of humidity in the southern part of Arizona to the coastal parts of California, and there's a tiny bit of leftover humidity throughout the coastal part of the Pacific Northwest, while your humidity value be in the low to mid single digits in degrees Celsius for dew point values. So it'll get somewhat dry. And finally, for Wednesday night, while your humidity value will be near freezing, but it's only a dew point value, so that means you'll be in the low single digits in degrees Celsius in the positive direction. In the U.S., plenty of humidity throughout the throughout southern Texas and central Texas, much of Florida, and New England, and a little bit of humidity that's left over throughout much of the west coast, on the coastal side, I should say. Now let's talk about Cape. Where's the lift in the atmosphere? There's a lot of lift in South Florida, South Texas, parts of the Northeast, tiny bits in the Northern Rockies, parts of the Great Basin, and the Pacific Northwest. For tomorrow night, a lot of convection in Florida and Texas, just a tiny bit in New England, and as well as the upper Mississippi Valley, parts of the Great Plains on the northern side. Tuesday morning, a lot of lift in Florida, western side of the Gulf Coast, tiny bits of convection in parts of northern New England, as well as parts of Minnesota, maybe your area, while it could get a tiny bit of lift in the atmosphere, and the northern plains, upper Mississippi Valley. Tuesday night, though, there's going to be a lot of lift in Florida and the western side of the Gulf Coast, just a tiny bit throughout the Great Lakes region, upper Mississippi Valley, and the parts of the Ohio Valley, and West Virginia too, all the way to Alabama. For Wednesday morning, there's still going to be a lot of lift throughout some parts of the Gulf Coast. Sorry about that. Tiny bit of convection throughout parts of the Northeast and the Great Lakes region. What about Wednesday night? A lot of lift in South Florida and South Texas. A little bit, tiny bits in the Great Lakes region. That includes your area, Wild, and the Northeast too. And some lift in the desert Southwest, parts of the Great Basin, and a tiny bit in the Pacific Northwest. Now let's change gears to here. Okay, so let's start off right now, right here. So we have wet weather to deal with from the Great Lakes to Florida, and some valley rains and coastal rains, mountain snow. Now let's play the radar going into tomorrow morning. So pressure system that's in the Great Lakes is about to move into the Northeast, thus delivering plenty of wet weather throughout the Northeast, and it'll affect the morning commute throughout places like New England, Pennsylvania, the New York City area. Oh, and there's also plenty of rains to deal with in the northern plains, maybe a few places with some snow, valley rains, mountain snow in the in the Rockies, and in the Cascades. Well, in the Pacific Northwest, you have coastal and valley rains, mountain snow in the Cascades, and some maybe in the form of freezing rain and sleet